Flights have resumed at Juba Airport after a dispute between the United Nations mission and the government. Earlier, the government grounded all UN planes. The send-off was sparked off by a dispute over control of the airport. The UN had secured the facility ahead of the deployment of the latest batch of 4,000 peacekeepers. But the South Sudanese government intervened, saying securing airports is not part of the UN mandate. Flights have since resumed. Interesting developments there in South Sudan. Let's get more on this issue from Freddie David Agesa, a security expert who joins me live from Kampala, Uganda. Freddie, why are we witnessing such embarrassing situations? I mean, at this level, shouldn't there be proper communication channels?
Thank you so much and good afternoon. I'm certain that this is not a problem of communication. It is a problem of interests. The two teams have different interests. The UN definitely, as they put in their own forces and have their own interests, want to control the intelligence about the exit. We call it the doorway to the country. So in the process, they really feel safe and secure to stay around and to monitor and possibly control. And also in case of any other, they also want to look at maybe what ammunition, because we are talking about a country that is infested by war. Maybe the UN also believes that they should have intelligence about what is coming in terms of military hardware. So they believe and feel that strategically, if they have control or an eye at the airport, they'll be in charge. On the other hand, the government of Southern Sudan would love to, because they are trying to pick stature now. They are trying to use every war holiday to possibly bring in as much hardware as possible unnoticed, and I'm sure the eye of the UN will disturb them. But so in the process, that's why you see it's not about communication. Come again?
Right, Freddie. No, I was going to ask.
Communication. It's about interests.
Right, it's about interest, Freddie. But I was going to ask at this point in time, given the situation in South Sudan, I mean, some would argue that Juba would actually need help from whatever direction and whatever form. So why would they be hesitant about that?
No, but we have to understand the background and the interests of the Juba government. The Juba government wants control. If you talk about war, they have been at war since their childhood. So it is not an issue. What they are looking at here is they want to end the war in a way of winning the war. It's not about ending the war. To them, it's not just about ending the war. They want to make sure that they win. Whether it takes 1,000 years, they want to win. So in the process, what they are saying is they have to be as mean as possible for purposes of making sure they win the war. So under that, definitely you expect them to not to adhere to several other issues, but their interest, which is to win the war at any cost.
Let's talk about the refugees in Uganda. They've now hit 1 million mark. What are the chances they will go back home soon?
You know, we have a problem because we are looking at a tribal kind of conflict in southern Sudan. And here is a situation where each tribe has, these are big tribes with their forces, and in any way, if they, and I wouldn't see them understanding the idea of settlement or the idea of sitting down and implementing the accords which have been signed. I think to them it is a situation of muscle. So if whoever wants to do anything around southern Sudan should address the issue of reducing on the muscle of each of the forces for purposes of realizing that they cannot fight anymore. Possibly they need dialogue. And I'm telling you that if that is not handled, the conflict and issues of refugees in wherever they are, because there are so many now in every neighboring country, will continue and will be on for so many years. I'm talking about even 10 years because I'm not seeing a solution yet.
Freddie Agesa in Kampala, we appreciate your insights. Thank you for joining us.